Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. This is Susan Kennedy, and I am a life mastery consultant. Everything I do tries to help get you back to the truth of who you are and start living the life of your dreams, a life that you would truly love. Today, I want to talk about stress. Stress is, everywhere we go, we hear about stress, and in the corporate world, especially. My husband's in the corporate world, and they do so much more with so fewer people that literally he has had to really grow in his job. Um, so stress can be good, and stress can be bad. there's there's distress, which is, if you believe in good and bad, distress is bad for you. It's bad for your body. It's bad for your spirit. Eustress, however, is the good form of stress, where it actually fuels you and helps you keep moving. Now let's talk about that. When you're doing some work or something that you love, for example, let's just take a kid playing a video game, right? And you can see them and they get all stressed because they want to win. Well, when they master one game, what do? They pick up a new challenge. So that's in that kid's highest values. So that stress put on by the game is a good form of stress. For example, if you take a new job and you get a big pay raise, it may be stressful to you because you go, oh my gosh, they're paying me so much more. Can I do the job? If the job is in your highest values, if the tasks and activities are in your top priorities of life, and we'll talk about that in a minute, you're going to welcome the challenge and you're going to keep on till you master it. And then you'll take on more and more. That's eustress. That's something that is beneficial to us. Distress would be you take a new job that you don't love, but you just wanted to get more money, for example. And you get to the job and they want you to stay late. They want you to come in early. They want you to be on call. And it's not a job you love. It's going to cause you stress because doing that job is not in your top priorities. Okay, so each person, each one of us, has a set of unique highest values. We're totally unique individuals. We have our own desires, our own top priorities in life. And when we live within our unique desires and priorities, we experience less stress. Okay? So, the universe in general is designed to maintain order and balance, right? There is a grand organizing design in the universe. Nothing happens haphazardly. And you'll notice in nature, there's a balance. There's a balance to the cycles of birth and death. And, when a tree falls in the woods, that tree is reabsorbed in the soil and becomes fertilizer for the next round of trees. So there's an ebb and a flow and a perfect balance to nature. So just think of yourself as a unit. Like you're a unit. I could say a body, but you're more than your body. You have a mind, you have a spiritual body, and you have an energetic body. So if you picture your whole self as one unit, um, your unit is designed to keep you in balance, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And when we get out of balance, that's when we have stress. Okay? So our bodies are designed to stay in homeostasis. For example, your body is so smart that if it needs extra blood, for example, in your heart, it's going to pull it away from your fingers and your toes, and they'll get cold. But it knows that your heart is more important right now than your fingers and your toes. So our body is freaking amazing. Let's see. But okay, dis-ease. You know, I was a homeopath for 6 years, and I always called disease dis-ease. We didn't name diseases because dis-ease comes from the whole of your being, right? It's not just a form of malfunction in your body, usually. There may be some cases that that's true, but dis-ease is a feedback mechanism. Dis-ease is basically stress. So stress is a feedback mechanism that shows you you're off track. You're not being authentically you. You're not living from your highest priorities in life and from your desires. That makes sense? Okay. So if you Google stress, if you look up stress, I can find hundreds of articles on the top 10 or 20 causes of stress, and it will list loss of a loved one, breakup of a relationship, money issues. It'll list all these things. And when you think stress is outside of you, it can get out of control. But the truth is, the real cause of stress, and pretty soon I'm going to be announcing my new mind assessment to go along with the My Wellbeing Compass. And it's an assessment you can take. I don't know how much it will cost right now, and it will tell you where you're off track for being authentically yourself. But the real cause of stress is not outside of ourselves. The real cause of stress is in our thoughts and beliefs about what happened. And those two things, our thoughts and our beliefs, create our perceptions about the event, the circumstance, or the situation in our life. Do you get that? That's really, really important, because what this really means is you have control over your stress. You know you don't have control over what happens outside of you, right? We all know that, but you have control of how you react and respond to that. So when you really get that, when you can recognize that stress is a feedback mechanism for how you're living your life, for how you're not being true to yourself, living your authentic life, then you can course adjust. But it takes awareness. It may take some training. It may take working with someone who understands this. But being emotionally charged about an event is stressful on the body. Highly charged emotional situations create havoc in the body, right? And all it is a feedback mechanism. It doesn't feel good. I get it. I've been there. And when I learned how to dissolve the emotion and collapse it into gratitude for what happened, I can do that in my life almost all the time. It doesn't mean I don't feel bad sometimes, but I don't stay in it for any length of time. Okay? So when an event happens, say it's a divorce, and you got divorced and you weren't expecting it, and you're upset about what happened, how it happened, what he did, what she did, you're going to get an emotional charge, right? But when you can see, when you can step back and see, because everything happens for you. You know, everybody walks around, everything happens for a reason. I know why it happened. If you don't get that to the core of your being, you don't have it. You don't have it. If you think about that event and you get that emotion rising up in you, you're not done with it. And every time you do that and go through that scenario over and over the way you play it in your brain, it reinforces those neural pathways to where it's harder and harder to get out of that. So, yeah. So, what was I going to say next? Yeah. So it's almost like when you realize truly that everything happens for you and not to you, and you can step back and see how it points you, it's feedback that you're not living your authenticity, then you can relax and know. First of all, you can relax and know that whatever happens is good. You get to choose, you know, as you go, but when things happen that you didn't choose, there was nothing you could do about that. So, okay. So you can choose to keep going over that same story in the way that you saw it at the time. If you watch my videos, you'll know one day I talked about our negativity bias. We all, we were born with a negativity bias where we see the negative things, the harmful things we think about what happens. And the truth is, for everything we see as harmful, it was beneficial. It's just that we're not seeing it. So I want you to be aware that even though you feel like somebody did something to you or it shouldn't have happened that way, everything happens in the exact perfect order in the universe. Everything happens at the right time, at the right place. And when you want to hold your story and say, they shouldn't treat me that way, he shouldn't have left me, he shouldn't have seen that other woman, you know, all this stuff, you're really, yes, I understand. Don't think I don't have a heart. Oh my gosh, I do, because I've been there too on many occasions. But now I can get there so much quicker when things happen to realize that there is a balance and the opposite is true even though I don't see it. But when I can collapse it into my heart and be grateful for it, that's when I am on the track to mastering my life. And if you want to live a life you truly love, if you want to get in touch with your vision and move toward it because you know you can, you are far more than you know. Some of these things get in our way and they seem really big, but I can show you that they're not. So if you have something, some emotional charge in your life right now, or something that keeps coming up for you, or if there's some stressful situation that you don't feel able to see both sides of and truly get it, for the month of July, I am offering a 90-minute session. Let's look at one of these things and let's shift it. Okay, if a 90-minute session to shift something that's really in your way would be good for you, or it would be beneficial to you, it'd be cost to you, reach out to me and let's get you scheduled, because I want to see every woman I know on the planet being their authentic selves, claiming their life, and living a life that they truly love. So that's it for today. A little bit long today, but it was an important message about stress, because stress can make you sick, or stress can be your best friend and show you where you're not truly being yourself. Anyway, make it a great day, and I'm going to too.